The text layout framework allows a much greater amount of control over typography than classic text does. This lesson will provide an overview of these extended features. So here we have our text field on the stage within Poem by Edgar Allan Poe, and right now it's set to classic text. Classic text is the type of text field that's been used for years and years and years within Flash Professional. A few versions ago, Adobe actually rewrote the way that text is handled within text fields. And this new version is known as TLF text. That stands for Text Layout Framework. So if I switch this over, we can see that we have a number of new options down here. So we're going to go through all of these options. We can choose whether it is read-only, selectable, or editable text when TLF is chosen. For TLF, it's pretty much all controlled by ActionScript. So we can give this an instance name if we want to. And an instance name in ActionScript is how we refer to specific objects. We can choose whether to render the text as horizontal or vertical. And then we have basic position and size controls, X, Y, width, and height. One thing that's nice about using TLF text is that we actually have control over 3D position and view. What this means is that we can actually manipulate this in 3D space just as we would a movie clip symbol. And we can do that through the controls here or via the tools in the toolbar. So I can control, you can see here, the X, the Y, and Z. We can also do translation. So some really interesting things with 3D here, position and view. And this button here allows us to reset our vanishing point if we want to. As far as characters go, most of these are the same. We can choose font family, the style, we can set embedding options for the font, we can choose a size, we can change the leading. Leading, of course, being space between particular lines of text. And we can set that by points or by percentage. We can choose the color of the text. The tracking can be adjusted. We can choose whether to auto-kern or not. And we can even choose the specific highlight color. We can choose how things anti-alias across devices, either using device fonts or to anti-alias for readability or animation. We can also choose rotation, so auto-rotate, 0-degree rotation, or 270 degrees. We can go in and do a faux underline, strike through, super, or subscript. Moving down to advanced character, we can place a link in here. So specifying a link will allow us to click on it, and then that URL will open up in our browser. We can choose here a specific case. We can uppercase everything if we want to. We can lowercase everything. Change all our caps to small caps, or change lowercase to small caps. We can choose specific digit cases, default, lining, or old style. And that doesn't seem to be applicable for this particular typeface. There are so many options in here that not every typeface is going to take advantage of them. Digit width, default, proportional, or tabular. How ligatures are drawn. So minimal, common, uncommon, or exotic. This particular font doesn't have any ligatures. So what sort of brakes? Auto brakes, all brakes, any brakes, or no brakes. We can adjust the baseline shift and have that in either points or percentages and choose superscript or subscript. We can choose the locale from a number of different languages here. Moving on to paragraph, we have basic paragraph things here, so alignment, to start, to center, or to end, justification, and these justification options go far beyond what's available in classic text. We can justify to the left, to the center, to the right, or have full justification. We can adjust margins left and right, indent, spacing before and after paragraphs, and justification of text for letters or words. We then have this option for container and flow. Behavior right now is multi-line. We can also choose single line or multi-line no wrap. We can choose how many columns we want. So maybe I actually want to have a couple different columns here. I just chose 4 columns. Maybe I just want 2. So here's 2 columns of text, and it renders all that automatically without us having to draw multiple text fields and break it apart. We can choose how wide the column gutters are. So let's pull that down. We can also choose the left, right, top, and bottom padding for our columns. And here we have the ability to color in some of these elements, both stroke and fill. And then we have a first line offset. It's set to auto, or cent, or line height, or we can set that to specific points if we want to. For color effect, we can choose to change the brightness, the tint, advanced color effects, or alpha. Our display properties. We have visible, but that's not actually an option for TLF text. It is for movie clip symbols and other things. It just shows up here. We can change the blend mode. So darken, multiply, lighten, so forth and so on. We can choose to render it as it is, or to actually cache it as a bitmap when we compile our movie. And then we have normal filters. So if I wanted to put something like a drop shadow on everything, I could do that. So in this lesson, we've seen the basics around this new text rendering engine called TLF Text within Flash Professional.